Good evening, family and friends. Thanks for joining me. I'm continuing to learn my ancestral tongue, which is the Igbo language of Southeast Nigeria, of which my ancestors, before they were taken across the Atlantic from Calabar and placed into the state of Virginia, this was their original language and their culture. So I made it my life's goal in order to learn to speak the tongue of my ancestors as well. And been doing so for about 11 months now and been really enjoying myself in the process. For those that have been faithful to my Facebook Live videos, thank you for joining me for the moral support. And hopefully we'll have a conversation in nothing but Igbo in the time to come. I'll be brief tonight, this afternoon, and just going over some of the items 51 to 75 that I've been studying from the topic of school, again in the Igbo language of Nigeria. And of course, school is Oh-Lau Ah-Kwoe-Kwah. And basically, if I have the literal breakdown of the words, I'll give that to you because it helps me understand, and hopefully it helps you understand as well if you're trying to learn as well. So again, Ola means house and Ah-Kwoe-Kwah means book. So you're saying house of books, which in English translates to school. So again, that's Ola Ah-Kwoe-Kwah, which is school in the Igbo language of Nigeria. All right, let's get to the new material. Again, this is another way of me being able to hold myself accountable. And I'm also thankful for all the native Igbo speakers that have been helping me via Facebook and correcting me along the way. I'm not a prideful person, so continue to correct me as I try to become fluent in the language as well. But far as school, again, this is our context, and all the words are centered within this context. For ink, you would say Ean-Key for ink, Ean-Key for ink. So those, what I'm gonna call an I with a dot underneath, they're real high pitched tone, so you have to go up in your voice. Remember, Igbo is a tone language, so the way you say things is just as important what you say in order to convey the meaning. So it's like a E, a real high sound. So it's Ean-Key for ink, Ean-Key, ink. Janitor in my book Igbo 101 has kiateka for janitor, kiateka, janitor. So again, kiateka, janitor. Okay, kindergarten is a little bit more involved, a little more effort in order to say kindergarten. But if you notice something, it starts with Oh-Lau Ah-Kwoe-Kwah, which you know is already standing for school. So how you would say it would be Oh-Lau Ah-Kwoe-Kwau Au-Tah Kah-Rah. That's Oh-Lau Ah-Kwoe-Kwau Au-Tah Kah-Rah in kindergarten. And so it breaks down literally as Ola, which means house, Ah-Kwoe-Kwah, which means book. So again, house of books means school. And then Au-Tah Kah-Rah, the last two words, means kindergarten. So what you're literally saying in English, it would be a school that's a nursery. Au-Tah Kah-Rah means nursery. Let me correct myself there. So you're saying a school that's a nursery. So that means kindergarten in the English language then. And those two last words, Au-Tah Kah-Rah, you see you have two vowels that come together to form one word. And so you drop that one of the A's, or I'm going to call it in English. That's not the exact name in Igbo. I'm just saying it that way to keep it simple. So instead of saying Oh-Lau Ah-Kah-Rah, you would run them together. You would say Oh-Tah Kah-Rah. Okay, so again, that's Oh-Lau Ah-Kwoe-Kwah Au-Tah Kah-Rah, kindergarten. Oh-Lau Ah-Kwoe-Kwah Au-Tah Kah-Rah, kindergarten. Okay, keyboard is Kee-Bau-Doe, Kee-Bau-Doe for keyboard. So again, Kee-Bau-Doe, keyboard. Laptop would be Lap-Tau-Poe for laptop, Lap-Tau-Poe for laptop. Again, those looks like an O with a dot underneath. We call a diacritic anytime you have that O underneath. And that gives like an ah sound, like auto. So Lap-Tau-Poe, Lap-Tau-Poe. And the U with the dot underneath is like an O. So Lap-Tau-Poe, laptop. Lap-Tau-Poe, laptop. Okay, moving on. If you're in school, you're going to have a lesson. And so lesson will be Ihe Oh-Moo-May. Remember the E's are, you would say it, I should say, as like an A in, a hard A in English. So again, it's Ihe Oh-Moo-May for lesson. And Ihe means item, and Omume means practice. So you're saying item to practice with is a lesson in a school setting. So it's Ihe Oh-Moo-May, lesson. Okay. Library, I don't have the literal definitions of each word, but library would be pronounced as Ah-Kwoe-Kwah, library. Ah-Kwoe-Kwah, library. One more time. Ah-Kwoe-Kwah, library. Okay. Librarian is a little bit more involved. This is one where you do have to blend words together, so you're going to be dropping some vowels. Let me just go ahead and say the words in one try right now, and then we'll break them down from there. So it's Ọnye En-Lae-Kau-Tah-Bah Ah-Kwoe-Kwah, librarian. And that comes from the root words Ọnye, which means the person, Nlekọta, which means to take care of, and Oh-Lau Ah-Kwoe-Kwah, which means the library. So you're literally saying the person taking care of the library, which means librarian. So again, you're running words together, so that's why you don't say it exactly what I said, but you would say it as the following. Ọnye En-Lae-Kau-Tah-Bah Ah-Kwoe-Kwah, librarian. Okay. Lockers would be Um-Poo-Chee. Um-Poo-Chee, lockers. The M, you know, in English you would call it M. It would be sound. So Um-Poo-Chee, lockers. Um-Poo-Chee, lockers. That I at the end makes a hard E sound, or deeper E sound. So Um-Poo-Chee, lockers. Okay, lunch. Probably one of the favorite times for a young person in school would be Nri-A-Hee-Hay. Nri-A-Hee-Hay. And it's broken down from two words. Nri, which means food, and A-Hee-Hay, which means afternoon. So food in the afternoon means in English lunch. So Nri-A-Hee-Hay is lunch. And you notice that you'll drop that second I in A-Hee-Hay. That's why it's pronounced the way that it is. So it's Nri-A-Hee-Hay, lunch. Okay, lunch box, you're just adding a word to it. You're adding the word Igbe, which means box. And remember, in Igbo, again, typically 99.9% of the time for my studies, you're going to have the subject and the description after the subject, unlike English, which is the opposite. So you would say Igbe Nri-A-Hee-Hay, which is lunchbox. Igbe means, again, box. Nri means food, and A-Hee-Hay means afternoon. So you're saying box of food from the afternoon. In other words, lunchbox. So it's Igbe Nri-A-Hee-Hay, lunchbox. Okay, lunch bag is similar. You know, sometimes you don't take a box, but you'll take a bag instead for lunch. So you would say Akpa, that means bag. And then again, you would say En-Ree-A-Hee-Hay, which means lunch. So bag for lunch is lunch bag in English. So again, it would be Akpa En-Ree-A-Hee-Hay, lunch bag. Akpa En-Ree-A-Hee-Hay, lunch bag. Okay, map is real similar. In Igbo and English, it would be Mah-Poe for map. Mah-Poe for map. Okay. Marker would be Mah-Kah. Mah-Kah for marker. Again, it's Mah-Kah, marker. Okay. Notebook, again, is a little bit more involved to say it, because you're basically putting concepts together to create one concept. So it will basically be pronounced as follows. Ah-Kwoe-Kwah-Gee A-Dea-Hay is notebook. It comes from the root words Ah-Kwoe-Kwah, which means book, A-G, which is the next word, meaning used for, A-Day means writing, and E-Hay means item. So you're basically saying a book used for writing items, which is a notebook, that is. So again, you're dropping some of the vowels in there and running two words together, like Ah-Kwoe-Kwah and A-G, you're turning into Ah-Kwoe-Kwah-Gee. So again, Ah-Kwoe-Kwah and A-G is Ah-Kwoe-Kwah-Gee. Okay, as you run the two words together and dropping some of the vowels. And then A-D-E-Hay, you would say A-D-Hay. Okay, so you're running two words together, Ah-Kwoe-Kwah-Gee, and then two words together again, A-D-Hay. Okay, and so you put it all together, it'd be Ah-Kwoe-Kwah-Gee A-Dea-Hay for notebook. Okay, notepad is the same thing, pretty much. You're just adding a word to the front of notebook to make it notepad. So you're just adding the word Um-Poo-Chee, that means short. And again, you have Ah-Kwoe-Kwah, which means book, A-G, which means used for, A-Dea-Hay, meaning writing, and E-Hay, items. So you're saying short book used for writing items, which means notepad in the U.S. English language. So that would be Um-Poo-Chee Ah-Kwoe-Kwah-Gee A-Dea-Hay, notepad. Again, that's Um-Poo-Chee Ah-Kwoe-Kwah-Gee A-Dea-Hay, notepad. Okay. Office then would be Oh-Lau Ah-Kwoe for office. And it's broken down from two words, Oh-Lau, which means house, and Ah-Kwoe means work. So you're saying house of work, which in English would mean office. So Oh-Lau, so it's Oh-Lau Ah-Kwoe, office. Again, that's Oh-Lau Ah-Kwoe, office. Now you'll see this word Ah-Kwoe-Kwah used for two different things. As we've been using it so far, it meant book, but it also can just mean paper as well, as I correct myself. So again, Ah-Kwoe-Kwah can mean book, but in this case, if you're just talking about a sheet of leaf paper, notepad paper, it would be just Ah-Kwoe-Kwah, which again just means paper in this case. So Ah-Kwoe-Kwah, paper. Okay, paste. One of the things that we played with when we did crafts in elementary school and kindergarten, preschool, and all that in the U.S. would be Mah-Poe paste. Mah-Poe paste. Okay, a pen would be Um-Poo-Chee. Um-Poo-Chee is pen, and that comes from the root words Um-Poo-Chee, which means stick, and Ode means writing. So you're saying basically, literally, stick for writing, which means pen. So it's Um-Poo-Chee, pen. Okay, a few more, as we'll end at 75. We're on item 71 now. Pencil would be pensolo. Pensolo, pencil. Again, that's pensolo for pencil. Now, again, you've already seen the first word when we talked about lunchbox. It's Igbe, which can be translated as box or case, whichever one you want to say. It just means a container. And to say pencil case or pencil box means the same thing. It would be Igbe pensolo, pencil case or pencil box. Again, it's Igbe, which means box or case, and pensolo meaning pencil. So you're saying case for pencils or pencil case in English. Remember, again, normally your subject comes first and then your description afterwards. That's why you're saying Igbe first, meaning box or case, whatever you want to say. So it's Igbe pensolo, pencil case. Okay, physical education. Again, you're using a concept to translate something into English. So physical education would be Imota Basara Anoho for physical education. And it breaks down as Imota, which means education. Basara means regarding, and Anoho, which means the body. So you're basically saying education. So that translates to physical education in U.S. English. And again, you drop a vowel. When you look at that last words, two words, it's I know ho, not I know aho. So you're dropping that A in aho at the end. So that's why I said I know ho for physical education. So again, the whole thing is Imota Basara Anoho, physical education. Okay, principle is way more complicated than we would normally encounter in order to say it in English. Now, principal in this case translates in English to either a middle school or a high school principal, because you're talking about a secondary school. So how you would do this, you have to run a lot of the together and the words together to do that. You can probably see on the screens which ones that's going to be run together and which ones are going to be dropped. As I would say it this way, it would be Ọnye Ah-Kwoe-Kwah ịnkị secondary. And how that's broken down is Ọnye, the first word, means a person. Isi means head, like someone in charge. Oh-Lau would mean house. Ah-Kwoe-Kwah means books. So you're basically in those first four words, you're saying the person that is in charge or the head of the school. Because remember, Oh-Lau Ah-Kwoe-Kwah means school. And then you're describing what type of school it is. That's the last two words. En-Key means that is, and secondary means secondary. So you're saying in so many words, the person that's the head of the secondary school, which means principal in the United States. Again, meaning a middle school or high school person, because high school and middle school are secondary schools in the United States. So again, I would pronounce it as Ọnye Ah-Kwoe-Kwah ịnkị secondary. So that's Ọnye Ah-Kwoe-Kwah ịnkị secondary, which would be principal in the U.S. English. The last one is poster, and it would be pronounced as posta, posta instead of poster for English, posta for poster. So again, thank you for joining me. We'll start right here. And this was items 51 to 75 out of my studies on the Igbo language of Nigeria. Remember, I'm a student, and so I do accept corrections for the hopefully we'll be able to have a fluent conversation back and forth without any English involved. May God bless you, and I'll see you on the next occasion if the good Lord sees fit. Have a good night. Bye-bye.